Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, I have a very special battery report for you today, as I'm introducing the Banter Boys to the old-fashioned rescue mission. So it's going to be a four-way mission. So let's introduce, first of all, Callum from the Table Top Banter Boys.
Hello.
And we have Harry. Hi guys, thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having us.
Hope you're looking forward to the game.
Very much, yeah.
And of course, Tabletop Banter have a YouTube channel of their own. I'll put a link in the description below, so go and check that out. Go and give them a sub, awesome channel. And the fourth member is my son, IDICBeer Jr. Hi, and of course myself. So yeah, it's going to be a four-way game, and we're going to be basically playing the old rescue mission from the 4th edition. So first of all, we're going to go over the armies. I've deployed here in this building. I have a cryptic for my HQ, 2 5-man squads of immortals with gauze. I then have the destroyer cult formation, 3 heavy destroyers and 3 groups of normal destroyers. The destroyer lord with a void reaper, and he's joining some death marks who are in reserve. And then over here we have the ultra marines. Going to run over your list.
Vindicator, and then we have 5 assault marines, a rhino with 9 tacticals and a captain in it.
Yep.
6 bikes, all less cannon predator, and vindicators around there.
Another vindicator, another one.
And then scouts on top of the building.
And the scouts. Okay, and Callum, he's going to be playing Imperial Fists.
Okay, so in here we have Tactical Squad Alpha, so it's a 5-man tactical squad in a rhino. We have the trusty Vindicator. Hidden right in here is Librarian Hargor Harewood, and he's hiding for good reasons. Back over here we have the Land Raider containing Calcius's Honor Guard, and then we have Scout Squad Alpha in their Landspeeder Storm. They all have bolt guns, and the Storms are both WYSIWYG. And over here we have Scout Squad Beta, and they have the same bolt guns and WYSIWYG.
Excellent, and as typical for me, another Space Marine army over this side of the table. So we have Harry's Space Marines.
Yeah, no fancy names here, lots of Space Marines. 10-man tactical squad with a plasma gun. It's just got a captain attached with artificer armour, and then we've got a bare bones assault squad. So yeah, just jump pack assault squad. And then we've got a Devastator squad, 5-man Devastator squad at the top here with 2 missile launchers. He's not easily weak, he's just a normal sergeant. And then we've got a 5-man tactical squad down there with a heavy bolter. And then we've got a rhino, and then there's another 10 tactical marines with a grav gun, and that makes up a battle demi company. And then alongside that, hidden away here, we've got a librarians conclave with 3 mastery level 2 psychers.
3 librarians, right? Okay, I think we've got to roll off for the powers yet, haven't we? Yeah, so we've got to do that. It's 1,000 points each. The objectives, we've got 1 here. There's 1 here by Harry's Marines, 1 in no man's land there, 1 over by the Ultramarines, and 1 all the way over there by the Imperial Fist, and there's 1, the last one, is right in the middle of the table. So we're going to roll a dice to find out what objective we're going to try and basically get, and if you step on the objective, you pick up the objective. If you find the actual objective, all the others disappear and you are holding it, which means potentially you could have 3 armies piling upon you. Okay, so we're going to do the psychic powers, and we'll be back with some action. Okay, so just on the psychic powers, I'll let the guys run over their psychic powers. So Callum.
So Hargor Harewood rolled off of Biomancy, and he picked up Enfeeble and Warp Speed, as well as the Primaris Smite.
Okay, and then Harry with his army.
Everyone went off Telepathy. So one guy's got Dominate Shrouding, one guy's got Terrify and Mental Fortitude, One guy's got dominate and the all-important invisibility.
Cool, right, okay, so what we're going to do now is going to roll a dice, find out what number objective we are going to try and get. So here comes the dice roll. It's a number 3, so that is the objective we're going to try to get. We're also going to do random player turn. So I have a cup with some dice in, with all the different colours of our armies. So we're going to shake it up, and who would like to do it? There we go. So if you randomly pick a dice,
yeah, just like dropping it on.
Blue. So that is Harry first. Okay, so turn 1 coming up. Okay, so turn 1 there for the Imperial Fists, and move forward. First action was very brave, picked up one of the rescue counters, but it wasn't the one that we were looking for, so that was just disregarded. In the psychic phase, managed to get invisibility on this big squad here, and also shrouded on the guys at the back with the librarians. In the shooting phase, shot, was it a missile launcher, wasn't it? Two missile launchers up over into that Rhino, managed to get 2 hull points off, and then we had basically just some bolters shooting up over into my Necrons. The first volley I saved everything, the second volley I didn't. I rolled a double 1 for my RP, so I lost 2 of my Immortals. Did a leadership check, but I was fine. And that was it, so we're going to randomly find out whose turn it is next. Okay, so next out of the cup were the Ultramarines. They moved in 2 directions, one towards this area and one towards the Imperial Fists just over there. The last cannons went into the Land Raider, caused 1 penetrating hit, but he managed to get a cover save, so no damage. And over here the Vindicator targeted my destroyer unit. A little bit of a scatter, so only clipped 1, but managed to instant death me. So lost 1 destroyer. Again, I did get my leadership check okay, so no running. Okay, so now we're going to randomly find out who is next. Okay, so picked up a dice, and it was Necron, so Necron turn 1. I moved around, tried to get in range with my short 24-inch guns. Prime target for me was that Vindicator down there, of course. In the movement phase, I did do a danger chain check on this destroyer here. I rolled a 1, then I rolled another 1 for my armor save, then I rolled another 1 for my RP. So he took a wound. In the shooting phase, the small amount of guns that I could get through did manage to take 2 hull points off of that. This is down to 1 hull point, but still able to shoot. The rest of my guns that were in range were able to shoot over in the top of the building there. I managed to kill 3 Marines. They didn't fail any leaderships. Then I used my assault moves, just moved these behind the building a bit, slightly more aggressive with these just to get into range for next turn. These guys only moved 3 inches, so I just spread them out as best as I could, and that was it. So it's going to be Callum's turn next, all the way over there, more to come. Okay, so last of the turn 1s, and these Space Marines here were very aggressive, moving forward, not going towards any objectives at this stage. The Honour Guard got out of the Land Raider, and then the Librarian on a bike just moved up within range as well. Tried to do one of his psychic powers, what was it? Enfeeble, but failed, or well, he was denied by the bikes. Then we had some shooting. The Vindicator shot these guys, scattered. Didn't do any damage though, did you?
I got a pen, but it was saved by.
Oh yeah, saved. Not a lot really died. 1 bike died from over here, and then there was a failed assault. Rolled 4 inches, not quite in range, after killing the front guy in Overwatch. Which, if that didn't happen, he would have been in range. But yeah, so aggressive turn with not much reward. But of course we're all about the relic, so it's going to be very interesting as we move into turn 2. And once again it's going to be randomly drawn. Let's see who comes out next. Okay, so first out for turn 2 was the Ultramarines. The Vindicator thought he probably was going to die anyway, so decided to charge forward into my Necrons. Shot at my big blob here, got a small scatter, but enough to do quite a number of wounds. I had to go to ground. I did lose 1 immortal in the end, but that was all, so quite good saving really. Then it was time for the Honour Guard to take some punishment. Basically everything shot into the Honour Guard. I think a couple died from shooting, went into the assault, and the last couple were killed in the assault. One of the bikes were cut down, the sergeant, in a challenge, but that was pretty much it. And then they just consolidated 3 inches. So we're going to find out who is going to be next for turn 2. Oh, and I forgot, yeah, the Ultramarines there, the jump pack guys went onto one of the little scanners, picked it up, and it was number 3. So that guy there, he is holding the relic. So, yeah, I think these Space Marines here, these Ultramarines are going to have some trouble on their hands as we continue with the game. Okay, so next out of the cup was the Imperial Fists, who showed their firepower off quite convincingly. What they failed to do in turn 1 they did in this turn, and they did a lot of damage on this Space Marine, Ultramarine army. So first of all, the guy holding the relic, as you can see, he has dropped it, and indeed pretty much all the Marines were taken down apart from the sergeant, just hanging on at the back there, he didn't run. And then over the other side of the table there, some more shooting coming in, and a few bikes taken down. The last 2 ran, just running over there. And then in the building there, the Vindicator has lost its big gun and taken a whole point. The scouts were targeted, but scattered dramatically off, so no damage there. Okay, so all to play for as we move into turn 2 for the next player. Okay, so next out was Harry's Space Marines here. Made an advance towards the middle of the board with these guys just there, and then the jump pack guys moved on up, and then it was all about the psychic phase. I had my leadership reduced on the destroyer squad here down to 9, then I had a few psychic shrieks come in, 3 of them. I did reasonably well. I ended up losing 1 destroyer. I didn't fail my leadership, so that was quite useful. And then I was shot at by the guys in the building on another unit of destroyers, and the guy that was already on 1 wound from the dangerous train check lost his 2nd wound. This unit here is invisible, and that's pretty much it really. Oh yeah, they're shrouded. I'm just ignoring them anyway.
Might as well.
Yeah, so it's now going to be Necron's turn at long last. I am last out of the cup. So turn 2 for Necrons. Okay, so end of turn 2, the Necrons here making as best as they could headway towards the objective, which is all the way over there. So I moved everything in this direction except for the gone to ground immortal unit. These guys here tried to, well, had to do a leadership check. Every time they did something, they failed to move. Yep. So they were standing there. So instead, I ran them and moved in the assault phase, moved the immortals up. I shot my 3 last cannons at the Vindicator there on this last hull point, and I rolled 3 2s or something. Basically, I just totally failed. I shot the destroyers in, I failed, so in the end I decided to assault just to give me that extra movement. So I managed to assault and I managed to get 1-6, so I took the last whole point off. All the other units just moved and ran, heading towards the objective there. These guys were just snapshotting anyway because they'd gone to ground, so I went for the invisible unit and I managed to kill 1 of them. So 1 of these Marines are down, and that was it. So we're going to swiftly move on to turn 3. Again, it's going to be random turns, so we'll see who is next. Okay, so we played all of the turn 3s, and it was the Space Marines over here, the Ultramarines, that went first. Did some very good shooting with the last cannons on the pred and managed to take out the Vindicator there. It then was the Necrons' turn. I started off with the Cryptic and his Veil of Darkness, tried to vow up behind the Vindicator, I mishapped, and I rolled a 1, so the whole unit died. So instead, I moved the whole flanks up. I shot at the Vindicator and I managed to wreck it, and also managed to get this tank down by 1 more hull point. And then the destroyers that were just there shot into the speeder and managed to wreck that as well. Up on the building, my destroyer lord, he came away from the death marks. Both units went down. The destroyer lord assaulted the land raider, managed to penetrate it, and I rolled a 6, didn't I? Yeah, rolled a 6, blew it up. The death marks didn't do anything, just tried shooting the bike. So that was my turn. It was then Callum's turn. Callum tank shot me here, just moving me away from the objective a bit, being a bit of a pain. The scouts moved on up. He managed to, what did you do?
I did 1 wound to the
destroyer. Yeah, took a destroyer out, and then over on the other side, the librarian on the jet bike, he assaulted my destroyer lord. Didn't do that well actually in the assault, considering how many attacks he had with his psychic powers, an extra 3 attacks. So it's like 8 attacks, something like that. 7 on the charge. I did lose 1 wound, but yeah, good old Necrons. Initiative 2. I failed and I was swept, so he was destroyed. The death marks are still behind there, and then it was Harry's turn. He continued moving the whole of the army up towards a central position, got loads of psychic powers off. This invisible unit and fearless unit assaulted my destroyers after being shot at by some plasma here. 1 destroyer on 1 wound. In the assault I managed to save everything, and wasn't able to attack back because of some sort of psychic power thing. That was it really. That is pretty much it. So at the moment the objective is there on the Vindicator. Space Marines drove that Vindicator on top of the objective, so it's just there, and we're going to move into turn 4. Let's see what happens. Okay, so turn 4 then. Just going to make this quite a quick summary. These guys basically moved up. I managed to target one of the librarians because he was at the front, so I targeted him with my destroyers, killed him, heavy destroyers even. Continued the combat here, nothing really happening. These guys are moving through the bridge towards the objective, along with these guys which have got out, and they have invisibility. I lost some destroyers from these guys getting out of the tank, and then Callum tank shot me off of the objective after I went onto the objective. I wasn't holding it, I was just standing on it because I went in the assault phase on the objective. Anyway, he tank shot me off, he's now there. The scouts, they basically shot into my destroyers. That destroyer is now down on its last wound. And then all the way over there, my death marks managed to shoot the librarian on the bike and kill him. So as you can see, we're all mounting around this objective, and this game is 6 turns, so we've got 2 turns left. So turn 5 coming up. Okay, so turn 5, we've all been, it's been, yeah, so at one point we had 3 tanks on top of each other. A tank sort of went on top, then got wrecked, another tank went on top. I managed to destroy the last tank that was on the top there with my heavy destroyers, and then I managed to get a destroyer actually on top of the tank as well. He wasn't holding the relic, but he was finally taken out by the 2 Marine squads there. There's 1 squad of scouts, 1 squad of Marines. They are on top of the tank near the objective. They're not actually holding the objective at this moment in time, they're just standing there. Meanwhile, the Space Marines have been shooting me. Basically it's just a free-for-all where everyone is just doing their best to try and get on top of this relic, except for those 2 dudes who are shooting with their missile launchers and killing nothing. So that is basically it. The assault here continues, nothing can be wounded, and yeah, we're going to carry on. Turn 6 as a 6-turn game, so this will be the last turn, so we'll see how this game ends. Okay, so turn 6, and I forgot to turn on my microphone, so I'm just going to dub over. But basically we all had our goes. It was a massive free-for-all to try and get onto the objective. Every trick in the book tried. The Immortals of mine moved up, and I managed to get into the assault with the scouts and the other marine that are now on the other side of the tank. And then the Destroyer Lord moved up there in the jump pack move. Couldn't pick the objective up because it was in the assault phase. The assault continued. Callum had one save to make with the scout. If he had made the save he would have won. As it is, he fouled the save, dropped the objective, so no one won. So the game ended in a draw with no one on the objective. A fantastic game. Please check out Tabletop Banter, link in the description below.